What is up, people, and welcome back to part 61 of my F1 2016 career mode here at the Mexican Grand Prix. If you've missed Season 1, Season 2, and the first 18 rounds of this third season, then you can go catch up with the card annotation in the top right corner of your screens. Here we are then, 3 rounds left to go of this Season 3, and we are still in a championship battle with Carlos Sainz. The gap at the moment, 47 points. So all we need to do is stay ahead of the Toro Rosso driver in order to take the championship battle to Brazil. But before we start thinking about the race, first we need to get resource points in order to try and upgrade the car before the Brazilian Grand Prix. So we're going to head into the practice sessions, doing the track climatization at the moment. Unfortunately, getting a red score through the penultimate corner, but it was purple all the way still. 510 out of 495 points. And that meant that we get 50 points, 50 resource points to spend after this race weekend, which will hopefully give us enough to upgrade the downforce at the Brazilian Grand Prix. 22nd in FP1, but like I say all the time, practice times do not matter in FP1 or FP2. And here we are in FP2, doing the tyre wear management once again, getting the purple score. Another 50 points to spend at the end of the race weekend. So that is really nice indeed, and something that we can look forward to the Brazilian Grand Prix, because Brazil has always been a tough circuit for me. So hopefully with some upgrades on the car, it will really maximize our opportunities. And here we are coming around the final corner in FP3, and unfortunately we just could not get a green or purple score in the qualifying objective. That was our best lap of 118.545. It was good enough for 11th place in the practice session overall, but yeah, not getting that 50 points that we do need to spend before the Brazilian Grand Prix is really, really disappointing. But 11th place in qualifying, that sets us up really nicely for a good result in the qualifying session. Just like the last 2 seasons, we haven't particularly qualified well here, so we'll be looking to do something different this time around to try and qualify well and give us the best opportunity to try and beat Carlos Sainz in the race. Can we do that? Let's find out as we head over to qualifying. It's qualifying time here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for round 19 of Season 3. We'll be looking to get out of Q1 for the first time in the last 2 seasons. We haven't gone particularly well around this circuit in qualifying. Here we are, completing our first lap in the session of 118.974. Only good enough for 5th place. However, we are on the soft tyres, so expect us to go quicker if we put on the super softs later on in the session. Second lap here in qualifying. So far, 5 tenths up on our previous best lap time, coming down towards the line. 5 tenths and still the gap of 118.440. 9th place still. Only good enough to beat Marcus Ericsson, and that does not look positive going in towards the end of the session. Here we are, 3rd lap in qualifying, still on the soft tyres, still improving by 2 tenths of a second this time around, so that's going to make it 118.249, and it is good enough to beat Roman Grosjean, put us up into 8th position. But will that be enough to get us into Q2? No, it won't. We're currently down in 19th place. We've had to go out on the super soft tyres coming around the final corner. Unfortunately, though, our first lap isn't quicker. It is not quicker than our best lap time on the soft tyres of 118.257. Not good enough, so we're going to have to go out for one final lap in this qualifying session. Round the final corner, down towards the line. So far, 4 tenths up on our previous best lap time. Is it good enough to get us into Q2? Yes, it is. 13th place in that qualifying session of 117.850 is the lap time at the end of the day. That gets us into Q2 as well as Nico Hülkenberg. So that is a really decent result for us. And the first time, I think, at the Mexican Grand Prix that we have actually got into Q2. And here we are coming around the final corner for our first lap in this Q2 session. It's pole position, provisional pole position in this session of 117.202. What a lap there around this Mexico circuit. Do not know where that one came from, but that was a fantastic lap to get us into Q3 and get us into the top 10 shootout, with the likes of Lewis Hamilton and Jolyon Palmer getting knocked out there. So disappointing result for those 2 drivers. Right then, the top 10 shootout. Can we get pole position here at the Mexican Grand Prix? Currently down in 10th place of 117.628, but we know that we can go faster than that. We know that we can get into the 117.2. So here we are around the final corner once again. 2 tenths up on our previous best lap time, but running a little bit too wide through the final corner makes our lap time only 0.05 of a second faster, and that keeps us down in 10th place in the standings. We still know that there is time to improve, and hopefully we can find it around this final lap. Here we are coming down towards the stadium section, still purple through Sector 2. So it looks like we're very quick through Sector 1 and Sector 2, but Sector 3 is where we're losing all the time. A little lock up there. That's not going to help us through the last couple of corners. Down towards the final corner now. Going up on our previous best time. Round the final corner. Not losing out too much time because we ran wide. 2/10 quicker than our previous best lap time. Is it good enough to move us up a position? I think it is. And yes, it is 8th position in the qualifying stands. Our engineer not particularly happy with that result, but we are absolutely ecstatic with that result, seeing as it's one of my weaker circuits in terms of qualifying. We do know that we can do better in the race, and that is exactly what we're going to do here today. But 8th position on the grid is still a really, really good result. And just look at that. From 1st to 5th, separated by 5/10 of a second. The grid is so close in Season 3. That's because all the teams, research and development, sort of equaling each other out, and everybody's being made closer together. And that's making some really, really entertaining racing, especially in qualifying as well, just seeing the gaps between the different drivers. I mean, 0.003 of a second separated Nico Hülkenberg and Jenson Button there. But let's take a look at the starting grid. So it's the Toro Rosso 1-2 in today's qualifying session. Danny Kvyat getting pole position ahead of his teammate and my championship rival, Carlos Sainz. Kevin Magnussen lines up on the second row alongside my teammate, Nico Hülkenberg, who lines up in 4th. Jenson Button's in 5th, with Fernando Alonso in 6th, making it McLaren 3rd row knockout. Kimi Räikkönen 7th, myself in 8th, Max Verstappen 9th, and Rio Haryanto in the manor, rounding out the top 10. Can we make our way through the grid and take the championship battle to Brazil? Let's find out as we head over to the race for the Mexican Grand Prix. It's race day here at the Mexican Grand Prix, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, for round 19 of this Season 3. The championship is still wide open. 47 points is the gap, and there is still the possibility of us to still win it. And especially with the momentum that we have gained in the previous races, we can certainly push on to try and catch up to Carlos Sainz. That is, of course, the goal over these 3 final races, to make sure that we finish above Carlos Sainz with enough of a margin to try and take it to the next race and then to Abu Dhabi. 279 points is the amount of points that Carlos Sainz has gained so far. 47 points is the gap. Toro Rosso are 431 points up at the moment in the constructors' standings. They're going to look like they're going to seal that very, very soon. There is Danny Kvyat lining up in pole position. It's a 1-2 for Toro Rosso. So it looks like it is going to be wrapped up by Toro Rosso. 1 Constructors' Championship and most likely the Drivers' Championship as well. But we're going to do our best to try and put an end to that. Line up in P8 on the grid. Look at the race strategy for today. They want me to start on the super softs, then pit for the softs, and then pit for the mediums later on in the race. We're going to see how that strategy goes. We're going to stick with it for now. We might possibly move to the extra stop strategy if the tyres do not last, which I haven't really had good experience with the tyres around this circuit before. But here we are, getting on board with the formation lap. We know that the run down towards turn 1 is very, very long. So we have got a good opportunity, especially with the straight line speed in this Force India, to try and get all the way up to the front of the pack by turn 1. Whether we can do that or not, we're just going to have to wait and see. But let's head back to the starting grid for today's race. Here we are then on the grid for round 19 of this Season 3 as the lights come on. It's 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for today's race. It's a great start compared to the Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen and Jenson Button as well, following the slipstream of Fernando Alonso. But Rio Haryanto looks to have got the better start compared to us. Danny Kvyat also getting bogged down. We're going down in towards turn 1. Can we have a look up the inside of any of these drivers? No, we can't. So it looks like Rio Haryanto sort of squeezes us out. We take a bit of the grass there on the inside. Now go around the outside of Fernando Alonso and the Toro Rosso of Danny Kvyat. Looks like my teammate has not had the best of exits out of turn 2. And after 1 corner, we have gone from 8th place all the way up into 2nd. Unfortunately, though, looks like Carlos Sainz has also got through turn 1 very cleanly indeed. And he currently leads the race by about 2 seconds at the moment. So we do need to catch up that margin very, very quickly and try and get the lead of the race back. And then hopefully something can happen to Carlos Sainz to push him further down the order. You know, all we have to do is finish ahead of Carlos Sainz in order to take the championship to Brazil. But we would like to gain more points, as many points as we possibly can in today's race. We're watching on board with Jolyon Palmer on lap 2. He's going too wide at the moment with Valtteri Bottas through turns 2 and then turn 3. Oh, slight contact between the two of them, but enough to put Jolyon Palmer into a spin. He's facing the wrong way. He's going to be put right down to the back of the field. Gets the car reversed into the wall there. And the safety car has been deployed because of that. Bit surprised, and there wasn't exactly any debris on the track, but with Carlos Sainz in a spin obviously the stewards feel like it was enough to bring out the safety car, and that caused me to come into the pits. I know I was going to be pitting anyway around when the safety car was coming in, so I may as well come into the pits right now. We're going to go onto the set of medium tyres, see how long these tyres can last for, depending on whether we have to go on for another set of medium tyres in our second stop, or whether we can go for a set of soft tyres till the end. So it's sort of giving me a bit of data running on these tyres, and with the safety car out, it means I'm going to be able to save them as well. So it does mean that I'm going to be pushed down the field, but we know that the guys who are running on the super soft tyres will be pitting by the end of the safety car. So I feel like this is a good strategy to do. We're right behind Jolyon Palmer, who was in that spin. So we are effectively at the back of the grid, apart from all the drivers that have pitted with me. So it's not too bad of a strategy. We are at the back of the field right now, down in 18th position. But we know that we are very quick. We know that we can make overtakes. And we should be able to get past Jolyon Palmer very, very quickly indeed. As we come around the final corner now, down the start-finish straight. As you can see on screen now, a couple of drivers coming into the pit lane. So they have not made their strategies very well. They have not made good strategy calls in this race so far. Looks like we've made the best strategy calls. We go down in towards turn 1. A long run down into turn 1, catching up to the Sauber and the Renault of Jolyon Palmer. And Kevin Magnussen, not quick enough in that Renault to catch up to me. But going through turn 3 now, right on the back of the Sauber of Felipe Nasr. What can we do down in towards turn 4? Following the slipstream, we're definitely going to have a look up the inside in towards turn 4. Can we have a look up the inside of Jolyon Palmer as well? Yes, we do. Side by side with the Renault driver in towards turn 5. Oh, slight contact there with Jolyon Palmer. I think he's gone spinning in the background. The yellow flag has been brought out. There won't be any safety car or anything like that because the game doesn't like to bring a safety car straight after another one. So there will not be a safety car. But let's have a look at replay on board with the Renault driver. So I dive up the inside in towards turn 4. Through turn 5. Did we give him enough room? It's close. We did give him enough room there, but it's a very, very tight corner. We probably could have given him more, but if we did that, then we would have run the risk of not making the corner ourselves. So it's a tough call, especially at such a tight corner like turn 5, but unfortunately, Jolyon Palmer has come worse off. But here we are on lap 7, going through turn 1, turn 2 and turn 3. All these cars getting bunched up by, I think it's the Mercedes and the Haas driver going side by side. They've had a bit of a mistake, and that's allowed me to get a great run on all of these guys, jumping up from 10th, I believe it was, all the way up into 6th place, probably even more positions than that. And that is absolutely fantastic in today's Mexican Grand Prix, getting past Nico Rosberg there, already up into 6th place after this strategy call, and we are catching up. We are catching up to Carlos Sainz, and we have set ourselves up for a great opportunity to try and get past our championship rival. Here we are on lap 11, getting past Pascal Wehrlein, who was leading the race because of starting on the soft tyres. We're currently leading the race by such a huge margin at this stage. That is absolutely fantastic. The leader coming across the line now. And just look at that. Pretty much the whole of the start-finish straight, we are ahead as we're on board with Pascal Wehrlein on lap 17. He's stuck behind Romain Grosjean and the Red Bull Max Verstappen getting caught up. And there's been an engine failure for Pascal Wehrlein. Very disappointing there from the Manor driver. His strategy puts him at the front of the grid. And unfortunately, he's not going to be able to see how that lasts. Very, very disappointing there from the Manor driver. As we are currently coming to pits on lap 19. So, we're going to be making a bit of a pit stop strategy call now. Will we be going on to the mediums again, or will we be going on to the softs? Not too sure at the moment. Looks like we're going on to another set of mediums. So, we don't believe that the soft tyres are going to last till the end of the race. I think that's probably the best strategy call to make. We'd rather play it safe with such a huge margin over the rest of the other drivers. Instead of going into the soft tyres and then risk puncturing them at the end of the race and losing all the positions that we have gained. We've come out in 2nd place right now, just ahead of Max Verstappen, just showing us the lead that we have over everybody else in the field. We can make a pit stop and still come out in 2nd place. So it's looking like this race victory is ours, but there are still a long way left to go. 36 laps in this race. There's still a long way left to go as we lose the back end through the final corner. Not losing us any time there, but we are going to get past Danny Kvyat, who is currently in the pits, and that pushes us back up into the lead of the race. So a fantastic Mexican Grand Prix we are having so far, but there are still 15 laps left to go. Anything can happen in Formula 1, as the saying goes, and it usually does. So don't count your horses just yet, and we cut ahead to the end of the race. Lap 33, as our teammate Nico Hulkenberg has caught up to us. He's been better on the tyres. The AI seem better on their tyres around this circuit compared to us. So unfortunately our tyres are really starting to wear at this stage of the race as Nico Hülkenberg gets past on the left-hand side. Can he make it through turns 1, 2 and 3 side by side at the moment through the 2 corners? Very, very close there between the 2 teammates of myself and Nico Hülkenberg through turn 3, and it looks like we've got the job done. But Nico Hülkenberg will have the better exit. He will have slipstream. He will have DRS all the way down towards turn 4, and it looks like he's using that, pulling over to the right hand side. We're going defensive on the inside, still side by side with my teammate through turn 5 as well, giving us as much room as we possibly can, because if we take him out, then that's going to allow Carlos Sainz behind us to get past as well. And unfortunately, we have lost our position to our teammate Nico Hülkenberg. And what is he doing? He's my teammate. He should be helping me trying to win the championship. He should be backing up both Danny Kvyat and Carlos Sainz and giving me this race victory and giving me the best opportunity to try and win the championship. But instead, he's deciding to overtake me and making my life as difficult as it possibly can be. Going down in towards turn 1 though, following in the slipstream and using the DRS on our teammate. Can we get the position? Is our straight line speed strong enough to get past Nico Hülkenberg? I think it is. We go up the inside very late on the brakes, losing the back end just a twitch. And there we go, getting the position on Nico Hülkenberg on lap 35. 2 laps left to go in this race. Can we hold on to the lead that we desperately need in this race? Nico Hülkenberg following the slipstream once again, but hasn't got enough to get past us through turn 4. And luckily for us, we are going to hold on to this position for the time being, but there are still 2 laps left to go. One very long straight that Nico Hülkenberg can definitely try and get past us. Just looking at the tyre wear very quickly there, you can see our rear left was on 72%, whereas our rear right was on 70. So tyre wear is very bad at this stage of the race, so we do need to look after them because we do not want to get a puncture this late into the race. Otherwise it will lose us that race victory, and it will also lose us position to Carlos Sainz as Nico Hülkenberg goes up the inside as we go into the stadium section. What is he doing? He's our teammate. Let us win the race and hopefully win the championship. Stop fighting me, Nico Hülkenberg. But we get the job done through the stadium section. I think that's allowed Danny Kvyat to get past his teammate Carlos Sainz. Their teammates are not doing a good job today at the Mexican Grand Prix. They're making our lives as difficult as they possibly can be as Nico Hülkenberg goes down towards turn 1, uses the DRS to his advantage. He's got the position for the time being, but can we stop him under the braking zone in towards turn 1? And that's a great move up the inside, still side by side with Nico Hülkenberg, but we squeeze him out as much as we possibly can through turn 2. It looks like we've got the position through turn 3, but that run to turn 4, Nico Hülkenberg could come back at us, but I don't think he's going to have enough straight line speed to get the job done. And no, he hasn't. In towards turn 4, still holding position against our teammate Nico Hülkenberg. Danny Kvyat is in 3rd with Carlos Sainz lining up at the back of this little train in 4th position. That's exactly what we want at the moment. We would prefer it if Carlos Sainz had a problem on this final lap to gain us as many positions as we possibly can, but as long as Nico Hülkenberg and Danny Kvyat hold him off in this final lap, then I'll still be happy with that. Going for the SS section right now though, here on lap 36, the final lap of this race. We could potentially go down from 1st all the way to 4th as Nico Hülkenberg looks to go up the inside in towards the stadium section, decides against it as the confetti is spraying in the stadium section here of the Mexican Grand Prix. But will it be for us or our teammate Nico Hülkenberg? One more corner left to go. The tyre wear is looking atrocious at this stage of the Grand Prix. Through the final corner, are we going to hold on to the race victory? Yes, we do. A great result for us, a fantastic result in today's race, and that is exactly what we need to keep our title hopes alive. What an end to a race there. Fantastic for the last 3 laps. Absolutely fantastic. The first 33 laps were pretty boring, to be honest. We got the strategy at the start. We got such a huge gap over everybody else. But because of the tyre wear, that allowed Nico Hülkenberg, Danny Kvyat and Carlos Sainz to catch up to us. And look at that, 0.3 of a second separated 1st and 4th in today's race, as Carlos Sainz had a huge amount of penalties there. And I think he actually got a stop-go penalty because of an illegal overtake, which he did serve. I did actually check that. So there wasn't actually any penalty that went on to Carlos Sainz's time So that's why that's probably messed up there. It was actually a stop-go penalty, so you just need to ignore that. But still, a fantastic result for us in today's race. And it's really going to help us in the championship. So there we go. We win today's race. Nico Hulkenberg finishes in second, making it a 1-2 for Force India. Great result for the team, but unfortunately it's not going to help us in the Constructors, as I believe that does mean that Toro Rosso round out the Constructors Championship. Danny Kvyat, he finishes in third with Carlos Sainz in fourth, making it 3-4 for the Toro Rosso team. Fernando Alonso, he finishes in 5th place with Sebastian Vettel in 6th, Lewis Hamilton in 7th, Kimi Räikkönen in 8th, Kevin Magnussen in 9th, and Max Verstappen rounds out the top 10 and gets the final championship point. Looking further down the field then, and the only DNF from today's race was Pascal Furlong, unfortunately getting that engine failure. I'm not too sure what he could have done in today's race. He was on a very good strategy to try and catch up to us, but unfortunately it did not work in the end. Jenson Button not having the best of races here today, making 5 pit stops somehow. So it looks like he was caught up in the wars in today's race. No other real surprises from today's results. So let's take a look and see how this affects us in the driver's standings. There we go then. On your screens right now, you can see that the gap between myself and Carlos Sainz is 34 points in the championship. That means the championship battle will go down to Brazil, and what we need to do in that race is gain 10 points on him in order to take the championship battle to the grand finale, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Can we do that? We're just going to have to wait and see for tomorrow's episode. But it's still a great result from us, closing up the gap and doing everything that we possibly can to still try and win this championship. In the Constructors' Championship then, unfortunately, our fate is sealed. We are going to come home in 2nd place in the Constructors' Championship. Toro Rosso cannot be beaten anymore. It's been a fantastic season for them, to be fair. Danny Kvyat and Carlos Sainz have done such a fantastic job for them, getting 458 points. They can celebrate all the way through the night with that Constructors' Championship win. We will not be caught up for 2nd place as well, so that is a good finish for the Force India team. We'll be looking to take that Constructors' Championship away from them next season. But that is it for today's Mexican Grand Prix. Let's head back to the menus. Quick look at the rivalry update then for today's race. And we did beat Danny Kvyat in the race. He got a podium, unfortunately, so he gets a tick there. But unfortunately, because of the tyre wear towards the end, he beat us through Sector 2, Sector 3, and got the fastest lap as well. Meaning that the points is 13-8 at this stage of the rivalry update. Very disappointing, but we're not really too bothered about the rivalry update at this stage of the season. We're more focused on beating Carlos Sainz. Look at the resource points, 1,841 resource points that we have available to spend. And I think it's obvious what we are going to spend it on. There's only one thing that we really can spend it on. You know why we have saved up 1,841 resource points. Of course, we're going to upgrade the downforce. What else would we bother upgrading before going into the Brazilian Grand Prix? The chassis weight, yes, it would help, but not as much as that downforce upgrade. And I don't believe that we're going to get enough resource points in order to spend before the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, unless we get a sponsorship bonus. If we get a sponsorship bonus, it could be possible. So we are going to wait till the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix episode before we cease research and development. But if we don't get a sponsorship bonus at the start of that one, then we'll definitely be ceasing research and development, because we will be able to upgrade that chassis weight upgrade, but only after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and there's not really any point in that. We may as well save it up and get more resource points to spend at the start of next season. So that is the research and development done for this season. That means we will come very close to Red. I'm not too sure whether we'll actually jump above them. I think we're just going to come up short and just behind them. Not enough to catch up to Toro Rosso, but it is going to help us in our championship battle against Carlos Sainz. But that is it for today's Mexican Grand Prix. If you have enjoyed the episode, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, subscribe to my channel if you're new around here for daily F1 2016 career mode content. The Brazilian Grand Prix will be tomorrow, and then of course the finale of this 2016 season will be coming to you on Monday, and hopefully by that time we will still be in a championship battle with Carlos Sainz. So obviously next time at the Brazilian Grand Prix, but until then, it's goodbye from me.